Here we're examining the dangers of speed when it comes to a vehicle exiting from a side road. Both high as well as low speed pose their own unique dangers. In the first part of the video, we'll have a look at high speed, and the danger comes from either the vehicle exiting the road at a higher speed than what would be normal, or the danger would come from the main lane with a vehicle traveling at an excessive rate. In the animation, we'll have a look at a vehicle traveling at a higher speed along the main road, and then just discuss why this could be a danger. We have the driver of the red vehicle exiting from the side road. Now, he may be very familiar with traveling this route, perhaps every weekday. This may be his place of work. And so normally when he exits, he sort of over time got used to the speed of any oncoming traffic down the main lane. But on the one day, a vehicle's traveling excessively fast, and so he's not prepared for that. And so as he exits, he doesn't anticipate the rate at which the vehicle would close the gap and then enter into a collision with him. So that could be one danger, where we're so used to our normal flow of traffic that we don't expect anything that's outside of that norm. Similar thing could be the case here. We see this vehicle traveling really at an excessive speed, no doubt trying to get away from a vehicle that's chasing it. But if I just go back a section, note that the driver exiting from the side road, perhaps, as I said in the animation, that he's used to traveling along this path. Now he sees a vehicle. If he notices the vehicle, he sees it at a distance there, thinks that there's enough time to cross, but miscalculates the speed or the rate at which the vehicle is actually approaching him, and so almost lands up in a collision. He's also at fault in not slowing down or stopping before exiting from the side road, so both are the potential threats. In this real-life clip, we see a vehicle exiting from the side road, also at a higher speed than normal. Let's have a look at the clip, and then we'll discuss why this could possibly be the case. Stop the video at that point. Now notice that the side road is actually entering the main road, not at right angles or perpendicular to it. It's at a slight angle to the main road, and so any vehicles exiting in this direction, as this vehicle was, would be able to enter into the main lane at a higher speed due to the fact that it's actually entering at an angle and not at right angles. And so maybe the drivers are used to being able to travel at a higher speed in order to enter into the main lane. But this poses a danger to any traffic that's traversing down that main lane, as we can see in this real life clip. So be careful if there is a road in your area where the side road enters at an angle, because the chances are higher that those vehicles would enter the main lane at a higher speed due to the fact that it's entering at an angle to the main lane. Here we have a driver who's traveling far too fast, could well be distracted, not paying attention to what's happening ahead, and so just enters and crosses over the main lane at quite a higher speed. Now, for you as a driver traveling down this main lane, there's not too much you can do if you had to be in the path of this vehicle, because your obstruction is somewhat limited by the vegetation that's on the side of the road. But the point of this real life clip is just to highlight once again that golden rule, which is the first golden rule, and that's not to assume anything. So just driving down here, it looked as though the road was clear, and so one might think that you can just casually continue, but we don't want to assume anything. And the second golden rule, expect the unexpected. So wherever you're approaching a section where roads converge, so this T section from the side road, whether it's a T section, as is the case here, or whether it's a full intersection, with roads coming from 4 directions, wherever there's a merger of lanes, always be in expectation that a vehicle could be coming along. So if that was the case and you're traveling along and a vehicle does suddenly shoot into your path, what are you going to do? Have you prepared in your mind before the time what evasive action you're going to take? Well, obviously it would depend on the specific circumstances right at that point in time, but at least you've got something in mind to try and avert a collision. This real life clip is just to highlight also potential higher risk areas. So here we've got a strip mall on the side. Why would this be a higher risk area when it comes to a vehicle exiting from a side road? Let's run the real life clip and then we'll discuss a possible or potential hazard. So one can see the vehicle that exited from the side road was really doing so at an excessive speed, far too fast for what is normal in a situation such as this. When we run the clip further, we'll see that this is actually a vehicle trying to escape, getaway vehicle. And so why this could be a potentially more dangerous area when it comes to strip malls is because of petty thieves. Maybe they've gone into a store, robbed the store, and now they're trying to make their quick getaway. And so you just happen to be there at the wrong point in time as they're trying to make the escape. And so as this driver was unfortunate enough to be in that situation, we see the getaway vehicle trying to make a dash for it. On the other end of the scale, where a vehicle exits from a side road far too slowly, would pose even more of a danger and increase the risk. Why is that? Well, simply due to the fact that a vehicle traveling too slowly would spend a lot more time in this danger zone where the paths of the vehicles intersect or overlap. Let's have a look at the animation and then we'll discuss a couple of real life clips to follow. So there we see in the animation the driver of the red vehicle traveling far too slowly, and so now he's prone to being collided with by any oncoming traffic. In this real life clip, we see the driver of a van on the side here, exiting from the side road, but notice that he waits until the camera gets closer before deciding to move across the road, and then travels far too slowly to try and avoid a collision. So the point to take away from this clip is that for you as a driver, if you were the camera, you're traveling down the main lane, you see a vehicle waiting on the side, don't just assume that the vehicle is there waiting for you to pass, that the driver's seen you, and so now you can safely progress along the main road. No, it often happens that a vehicle waits on the side there. We assume that they've seen us and that's why they're waiting, but that may not be the case. And then at the last moment, they decide to cross, as happened here in this real life clip. There's a little bit of a variation on what we're looking at. The driver on the left side here, exiting from the side road, pulls partly into the main lane, waiting for oncoming traffic on the far side to cross before then progressing further across the road. But during that time, he's now exposed to vehicles traveling along the path that's closest to him. So there, instead of waiting for the vehicle to pass before intruding or encroaching into the main lane, he's now halfway across the main lane. And even then, it's too late to be able to accelerate and get out of the way of the camera. So the takeaway from this, once again, is that as we're driving along a main lane, we see a vehicle on the side. Don't just assume that the vehicle is going to stay there. The driver's seen you. Be cautious because something else could take place and we've got to try and plan accordingly. So always be cautious. Wherever you're traveling and you see an intersection, be aware that something could arise. In fact, try and be in expectation of a vehicle suddenly appearing. And if that's the mindset, then you'll be a lot more prepared to take any evasive action. Please like, subscribe, and get notified.